Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Max AC channel. Ever since last year I've been wanting to make more recipes for this month's theme. So we will be doing Nostalgic November once again, where we'll be taking a look at 4 more easy and delicious recipes from my childhood that will hopefully help you to create memories of your own. For this episode we will be making some Thai roasted chicken and sticky rice. For this recipe you will need 5 pounds or so of chicken. You can use whatever cut you like, but I like making this with a whole chicken so that you get a mix of all the different types of meat. Then for the marinade you will need 2 teaspoons or so of white peppercorn, 2 teaspoons or so of coriander seeds, 1 stalk of lemongrass, 6 cloves of garlic, half a lime's worth of juice, 2 to 3 red chilies for optional spiciness, 3 tablespoons or so of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons or so of fish sauce, 1 tablespoon or so of dark soy sauce, half cup or so of Chinese cooking wine or water, 2 tablespoons or so of oil, and 1 tablespoon or so of brown or palm sugar. Then this is optional, but if you want to make the traditional namjim jiao dipping sauce, which I highly recommend doing, you will need 2 tablespoons or so of tamarind paste, 1 tablespoon or so of fish sauce, 1 tablespoon or so of brown or palm sugar, half a lime's worth of juice, some dried chili flakes, 1 shallot, 1 green onion, 2 to 3 sprigs of cilantro, and 1 tablespoon or so of uncooked rice. This dish is typically served with sticky rice, so for that, I'll be showing you how to make it in the rice cooker. So you will need 3 cups of sweet or glutinous rice, 3 cups of water, and a pinch of salt if desired. In terms of special equipment, you will need a mortar and pestle or some sort of grinder to prepare some of the ingredients for the marinade and dipping sauce, and you will need a rice cooker to cook the rice, though I suppose you could cook it on the stove if you really needed to, but just get a rice cooker. These ingredients are enough for 6 to 8 servings, so adjust as needed. First we'll prepare the chicken, so if you need to break it down, I like to start by trimming off any excess skin. And then I like to spatchcock it by first finding and cutting out the backbone, which can be a bit tricky to cut out at first, but as long as your scissors are sharp enough, you should be able to cut around the hip, and then through the thin rib bones. Once you remove the spine, you can save it for later in the fridge or freezer to make a broth. You can cook the chicken as is, but because this chicken is quite large, I like to cut it in half completely to make it easier to work with. So flip the chicken breast side down on the cutting board and find the center of the breastbone. And then, using a sharp knife, crack and then cut completely through the center of the breastbone and the rest of the chicken to evenly divide it in two. You of course are welcome to break down the chicken even further into individual sections, but I think this is good enough. Once your chicken is broken down to your liking, we'll prepare the marinade. So in a mortar, spice blender, or food processor, add in your white peppercorn and coriander seeds, and grind this until it turns into a coarse powder if needed. Then slice up the bottom half of your lemongrass into thin slices, and then add this to your mortar or other cooking implement, along with your garlic cloves, and give this a grinding as well until it turns into a paste. Then, once it's ready, transfer this to a mixing bowl, and add in the red chilies chopped up, along with the lime juice, soy sauce, fish sauce, dark soy sauce, Chinese cooking wine, oil, and brown sugar, and then give this a mix to dissolve the brown sugar and to combine everything together. Then, once that's done, to a zip-top bag, add in your chicken pieces and then cover this with your marinade, and then place this in a bowl to keep things from spilling, and let this marinate for at least 3 hours or overnight. And since we need to wait anyways, we can also prepare the sticky rice now as well. So traditionally, sticky rice is cooked by soaking it in water for 3 to 4 hours and then steaming it in a bamboo basket. But since most people wouldn't have this special equipment, I'll be showing how to make it in a rice cooker. So first, rinse the rice a couple of times until the water is somewhat clear but still a little cloudy. Then add your rice to the rice cooker bowl and add in your water. I recommend a 1:1 ratio, but your rice cooker might differ slightly, so try different ratios if you want your sticky rice to be more or less clumpy. Then let this soak in your unplugged rice cooker for 30 minutes up to 3 to 4 hours to allow the rice to soak up the water, making it softer and stickier. Then when you're ready to cook it, give it a stir and sprinkle in some salt if desired. Make sure you flatten the rice so that all of it is covered in the water, and then cook it how you normally would cook other rice in your rice cooker. Then, once it's done, let it rest on warm for at least 5 to 10 minutes before you open the cooker to let the steam finish cooking the rice, and then you can fluff the rice up and let it rest in the rice cooker until you're ready to use it. When you're ready to cook your chicken, if you have a grill, I recommend grilling it on medium to medium-low heat for about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on the size of your chicken, flipping every 5 minutes or so until the internal temp is about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. But for those without a grill, I'll be showing you how to make this in the oven. So preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and pull your chicken from the fridge to help it warm up a little while we wait for the oven. Then, once your oven is ready, place your chicken, skin side up, on a baking rack over a baking sheet covered with aluminum foil, and then place this on the middle oven rack and bake this for 30 to 40 minutes, or until the internal temp is about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. About halfway through, once the skin has dried, you can brush it with some oil to make it extra crispy, but this is optional. While we wait for the chicken to finish cooking, if you want to make the dipping sauce, first, in a small pan, add in some uncooked rice and toast this for a few minutes or until the rice becomes browned and has a nutty aroma to it. Then, in a mortar or other implement, grind this into a powder and set this aside for later. Then, for your shallot, green onion, and cilantro, chop these into small pieces. In a mixing bowl, add in your tamarind paste, fish sauce, brown sugar, lime juice, dried chili flakes, and shallot, and give this a mix until everything is well combined. Then, a little before you want to serve the dish, add in the green onion, cilantro, and toasted rice powder. You will want to wait to add these, since these ingredients will wilt and get too soggy after sitting in the sauce for a while. It's not that important, but if you want the fresh taste from these ingredients, I would wait until you're about to serve your chicken. Once your chicken and sticky rice are done, serve the chicken on a serving plate with your sticky rice and dipping sauce portioned out, and with that, your Thai roasted chicken and sticky rice is ready to eat. I've been wanting to do this recipe since the beginning of doing this cooking show, but I, for whatever reason, waited until now to make it. Thai roasted chicken and sticky rice, or khao niao gai op, is one of my favorite dishes from my childhood, and it's something that I would get every time I visit family in Thailand. And whenever I was craving it while stateside, we would usually make our own sticky rice and then buy the Costco rotisserie chicken as a quick and easy substitute for the Thai roasted chicken. Obviously, it wasn't flavored exactly the same, but it definitely was a lot easier to buy a whole cooked chicken than to make it at home. But since I don't have a rotisserie, I thought for this recipe, I would try to replicate the traditional Thai recipe. And I think this combination of ingredients did a great job at copying the flavors I remember from my childhood spending time in my family's home region of Isan. Though usually you'll find this dish in Thailand more commonly as khao niao gayang, or grilled chicken and sticky rice, since it's a lot easier to have a grill in your street cart rather than a whole oven, and since it's a lot easier to cook a whole bunch of chicken on the grill rather than waiting for them in the oven. I definitely recommend grilling your chicken if you're able to, since it gives the chicken a nice smoky flavor and it firms up the meat a bit more, making it easier to eat with your hands, which is the preferred way of eating this dish. But if you don't really feel like going to the effort of grilling, or if you don't have a grill, roasting this chicken is still plenty delicious since you're using the same ingredients. Speaking of ingredients, if you want to add a little bit of green to the dish, this dish is typically served alongside some lettuce or other greens, so I definitely recommend adding this to round out the dish. Also, I recommend playing around with the amounts of ingredients for the marinade and dipping sauce to adjust them to your liking. For example, I definitely misread what I wrote down for the amount of coriander, and I used tablespoons rather than teaspoons. But I actually didn't mind the extra coriander flavor, and I might not add quite as much as I did this time, but I might try to add a little extra next time I make this. But if you can't find certain ingredients to make either the marinade or the dipping sauce, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You can still make a very delicious recipe without the harder to find ingredients, but it just obviously won't taste as authentic as it would be, since many of these ingredients, such as the coriander, lemongrass, and tamarind paste, are the key flavors of this dish. One other really interesting key flavor of this dish is the toasted rice in the nam jim jiao dipping sauce. This sauce is very sap, or yummy in northeastern Thai dialect. It's a combination of salty, sweet, sour, spicy, umami yumminess that's distinctly northeastern Thai in flavor. And a key part of this flavor is the secret ingredient of toasted rice powder that's used in many Isan or northeastern Thai dishes, such as this one. This ingredient adds a nice nuttiness to balance with the acidity of the tamarind and lime, as well as providing some texture and acting as a thickening agent to help the sauce cling to the meat. This deceptively simple ingredient is the secret to making the most authentic Isan dishes, so definitely don't skip out on this one. The other star of this dish, the sticky rice, is also a somewhat hard ingredient to find, since you need to use sweet or glutinous rice to make sticky rice. This is not the same type of rice as jasmine rice or sushi rice, and it can be a bit difficult to find at normal grocery stores. Of course, you could instead serve this dish with normal white rice if you can't find the correct type of rice, but again, it won't be as authentic, though it still will be very delicious with the chicken. But for any of these ingredients, if you can't find them at your local grocery store, I recommend checking your nearest Asian grocery store, and they should most likely have everything in stock. But regardless if you make this recipe with all the authentic ingredients, or if you take the shortcut of buying the pre-made Costco rotisserie chicken, you will have a flavorful, filling meal that you will be able to enjoy with your whole family, and hopefully you will find this to be a recipe you come back to again and again. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. In the comments below, let me know how it went if you decided to make it, and let me know if there's anything you want me to make next. Like the video, share with your friends and family, and subscribe to this channel for more episodes of the Max AC channel. And remember, if you want to stay cool in the kitchen, turn your AC to the max and watch the Max AC channel. Bok, 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 quack.